Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Today, my friends, we're going to look at a very adult conversation. We're going to talk about the immaturity of the modern female. Yeah, I mean, listen, we men, especially in this space where we examine female behavior, there's one thing that I am constantly noticing is the way today's women operate. And it's almost like watching kids.
You keep lying saying I'm threatening you, so I'm recording to protect myself.
From the temper tantrums in public to the screaming. To the just absurdity of irresponsibility of spending, to the I want this, I want this. If you don't give it to me, I'm gonna scream.
I don't care that I'm a grown-up crying at an airport because I'm leaving vacation. It was so fun. And I don't want to go home. I want to stay.
And if we don't cater to her, she is going to leave the game. And if you don't cater to her, she's just going to go where she can get it. I mean, all of these are literally immature, childish behaviors. And listen, of course, I have to say this. Not every woman is like this. But the percentage of women that are so much like this, it's freaking scary. And men are saying, you know what? We don't have to put up with this crap. So as I was doing my research on this, I came across Whole Math. I love this guy, man. You guys definitely got to go out there and check him out if you haven't checked him out already. But he had a piece called Whole Math Maturity Crisis. So you do realize that I'm not the only one that recognizes these things, right? There seems to be an epidemic of women who just exhibit this immature behavior. But I am going to examine this video because as I was watching it, I was like, man, I got to share this because he's going to explain it a lot better than I do. And for that reason, my friends, I would love to feature this particular video on the Whole Math channel. I'll put the link in the description as usual. And of course, before we get into it, please subscribe, join our membership system if you haven't already. It's absolutely free. And of course, book a session with me if you would like me to help you with any projects whatsoever. If you need some mentoring, if you need help with your YouTube channel, if you need any help with your relationships, etc., I'm here for you. I am the older man. All right. So let's get into this particular video. Whole Math Maturity Crisis.
In the middle of a maturity crisis. I talk about it a lot. I mostly use examples of women being immature.
I literally hate men!
But that's just because they remind me so much of my own experiences. One of the reasons they're more and more like this is that men are immature too, even in Korea. This girl said Korean men are so bad she'd rather go extinct than date them. And this is despite having stickers on her face like a child at a carnival. Why are we so immature? I believe that it's best explained by these memes about hard times creating strong men and then strong men creating good times. Here's this guy building civilization. And then the good times create weak men. Wah, wah, I want everything for free. Wah. And then the weak men creating hard times, and this is terrible. They didn't even use a drop shadow, but it says, you are here. And I believe that's about accurate. I believe that that is about where we are in the process. Here's a better one. It even says people instead of men. That's because it's LinkedIn. That's actually the weak men creating hard times, now that I think of it. It's a strong Zayzems.
And that is without a doubt. We are in soft times. Generation X and the boomer generation have created a massive amount of wealth, and they have created a lot of easy times for this existing generation. Advancement in technologies have made things so much easier. Everything, you can just basically pick up this baby right here, the smartphone, and you can literally order, call, do anything with it. We are literally living in the softest times possible. And the only people who are enduring hardships right now are war-torn areas in Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, Palestine, these areas that are going through really, really hard times because of war. Otherwise, the majority of countries, even a lot of places in Africa that were in hard times, they're going through massive transformations into softer times. But one thing is for sure, when things get soft, people tend to want more softness. It is almost as if it's I don't know what you would call it. You literally, if you say to someone, hey, listen, you don't have to sleep on the ground anymore. Here's a straw mattress. If you give them a straw mattress, all of a sudden, oh, well, it's a bit hard and lumpy. Can you give me one with cotton and with some springs? And oh, yeah, and can you throw in a bed after that? Because I saw that you have that, and I don't see no reason why you can't share that. That's what we get. So yes, we are in soft times. Now, I don't say that these soft times are strictly regulated to women. The difference is that we are living in a gynocentric society. All over the world, we're pushing for females' rights, and everything is based on how can we help females. So these women are given a lot more, whether it's in social programs, DIE hiring, whether it's in just the whole push towards making women feel comfortable, having comfortable spaces, you name it. We've been through too many of these. Women now feel entitled to more. She wants more, and if she don't get it, she's going to scream, especially if she saw her friends getting it. And all the other people that she sees on social media who are getting it, she feels that now she's entitled to it. Let's continue.
So civilization goes through these phases of decline and growth, and sometimes it's kind of irregular, but it generally sticks to the pattern. And here's a little map of it in the United States. These are the hard times creating strong men, who then create good times, which create weak men, who then create hard times, and then the strong men have to come back and do stuff again. And that repeats itself until Christ's return, I guess. This one kind of goes off the rails. And these are the easiest times we've ever had. This thing has 2 cup holders. So we're the weakest we've ever been. This guy volunteered to be in a fat nerd stock photo. Do you understand? This is not a performance. He needed to do this for money. We live in the worst of times. So times get good when people do stuff and make stuff and are productive. And times get bad when people want to have more stuff for doing less. That's equality. They want equality of gimme stuff and not equality of let me contribute. And this is all explainable in terms of masculinity and femininity, which is why it relates to dating. The masculine, positive, creative principle in all of us creates the value that we enjoy, and the negative female consumption principle decides what to do with it and who gets it and who spends money. It's basically who makes the money and who spends the money. And right now, our battery is dying because we have, I don't know which one is which, more negative than positive. There's more need than there is stuff for the needs. I made a Twitter post about this. The masculine creates, the feminine consumes, and that's why the feminine cannot be in charge of the masculine, because it sucks up all the value and then gets angry at the value creators for not making even more, which may or may not be why certain types of relationships have more anger. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, he's so right there. Ladies, you can't deny it. You cannot deny it. You're now looking for the top earning men to hook up with. You're not interested in the average men. Most women out there today will tell you they would prefer to be the mistress to a billionaire or a millionaire rather than be a loyal wife to an average guy. That alone tells you that women are more consumers than they are creators of wealth. Every single woman who is a multi-millionaire, the only way that she's actually gained her wealth is through divorce. Everyone. Without a doubt. Yes, look it up if you don't believe me. Women do not create wealth. They are the consumers. That's it. Men build, women consume. I don't like to say it, but I can't deny the facts. Women just don't like to hear it, that's all. But, it has to be said.
And a lot of women got pissy in the comments. Apparently I have womb envy. I'd love to be pregnant. And men who may as well be women. They argued that women create stuff too, mostly babies. There's childbirth, there's women create babies, which is not a great argument because if it's not my baby, if I didn't create it, then you're basically saying, here's 18 years of needs that are going to be on your tax bill. You're welcome.
I hate when women say that shit. Oh, we create life. No, you don't create life. You incubate life. That's it. And the second artificial wombs are created, there'll be no more use for you as a female if that's what you say that your value is. Most women don't build stuff. And the few that do build, they're not really big inventions like men do. You know, you don't see any women out there on construction sites and oil fields, in gold mines. You don't see these things. You don't see these women out there doing the hard work. Men do that. Up on the electrical grids, you don't see women doing that. They will design it. Ooh, okay, great. But you're not building it.
But of course it's true that both men and women both create and consume things. That's why I put a girl on the chart for you, and she even has a briefcase. There you go, sweetie. But of course, men earn more than women, and of course, women spend more than men. This is just on clothes, but extrapolate as you will. So this principle is easy to see in real life. You can't have consumption in charge of production or you run out of power.
I forgot to add this one. If you go into any mall whatsoever, look at the percentage of stores in the mall that are catered or designed for women versus the men. That will tell you everything you need to know about who consumes more, okay? It's not hard to recognize. It's literally an 80-20 split between stores that are designed for men or cater to men versus stores that are catering to women. I shouldn't even have to say more about this. I think you all know. But I know I'm just going to get those women that come back at me. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. No, it isn't. I know a woman who does this. Yeah, you know one. Okay, fine, great. I bet you if you think hard enough, you could probably pick out 100 men who do exactly the same thing.
So as women lead the way into more and more feminine politics, we're looking at a blue wave, they're going to push for more collective redistribution of value, more taxes, more handouts, more equality, more give me and not more let me help, which will remove men's incentive to try at all because their own choices don't matter because they can't support themselves anyway. That's what this chart illustrates. When you make stuff, that's the red arrows, some of the stuff you get to keep, and then you can use it to support yourself and the people you care about, or you can waste some of it, which some people do on mistakes and OnlyFans and drugs and crap. And sometimes when you make stuff, you have to give it to someone else, usually the government, who then wastes it on things that you hate. And this would be the feminine principle of we need, rather than the creator of the value getting to keep it and decide what to do with it. We're going to decide what to do with it. And we're getting very little back. We're giving a lot and getting less and less and supporting things that we don't even like and we don't even want around in the first place, like your baby. And that's why men are giving up, and that's why they're not growing up, and that's why they make women do this. It's because we have been robbed so badly to pay for things we hate that we don't have anything to invest in women. We're very low on good guy points. So it's a downward spiral of entitlement. The masculine tries to make its own way, and the feminine says, but we need. And then the masculine has less ability to make its own choices, and the feminine says, well, these men out here can't support us. We need. And more men drop out and become this guy. And unfortunately, men are going to have to grow up first and learn to create and provide things because women don't have to. They get to be the table if they want. But the problem is we can't continue to do this within the system because it will just continue to suck us dry, which makes us feel like this. So in this video, I'm going to make the case that the system we live in has changed in a bad way. That's the context outside of ourselves. Not really something we can do anything about, and it's been feeling like this for a while. I'm going to demonstrate what that system is doing to people, and then I'm going to give you my experience of that system as an example of why you should avoid Peter Pan syndrome, which is when you grow up into just a tall child. So if you think I'm worth listening to, if you get something out of my content, it's only because I fought through all these ups and downs, which is how I learned all of the stuff that I am trying to teach others.
You see, I love how he broke that down. Listen, every man who has reached a point in life where he can now explain to you the problems in life usually got there because a woman has literally ripped his heart and soul out, ripped him apart, and it has created this whole new understanding of life.
Question for you.
Yeah.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I'm not a millionaire. I wish I were.
What line of business are you in?
I'm a lawyer. I used to be a millionaire, but my ex-wife has most of the money.
So what did you learn from that divorce?
Don't get divorced because in every state the woman gets all the money.
How much money did you lose from your divorce?
Several $1,000,000.
So it's safe to say marriage is a business.
Marriage is an important economic decision. I'd recommend if you are building wealth, you certainly have a prenuptial agreement. And even though you want to marry for love, just be careful.
Every single man who has called me, who is on my channel, has a story of a woman who has literally destroyed his whole outlook on how he thinks about women. Listen, ladies, bad boys were never born. They were created. They were created by women. Women who hurt them. Women who have taken them to the cleaners in divorces. From high school, women who have rejected them for the other bad boys. All the good boys were literally destroyed, okay? They were put in the friend zone for the rest of their life. So much pain and suffering have been done on men. Pretty much it's a woman that has done this to him. It wasn't other men. It was women who've done this. And so now women are living with the consequences of that. A lot of women will always say, oh, Paul, you're always blaming women. You're always blaming women. I have no choice. Women are the creators of societies. Men build the society. Women create who lives in the society. You are the creators of the society. We just build shit. We're out building it, and you're at home nurturing the boys that we leave with you. You're teaching them in nursery. You're teaching them in high schools. Most of you now are teaching them in colleges. You are the ones that have relationships with them, and then you destroy them, you hurt them. You are the nurturers of the society. But what we're seeing is that women just don't have that ability to lead because you've kicked the men out of the houses. That's the big problem. So now we're creating a society of soft men that think just like women. Then the women reject those men. Those men get hurt. Those men then become bitter, hardened. They learn their lesson. They're no longer willing to contribute back to the woman because they've already been burnt early in life or later in life, and they're no longer interested in getting involved with these women. It's a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle.
Immature men, so we can get the approved perspective right next to the most immature possible Google Doodle. There are articles about it. I guess this guy's being a baby. Here's the same guy being comfy. Here's a guy yelling at a girl. Here's a guy yelling at his phone. That's even worse. Here's a guy playing with a toy. I guess maturity means more wheels. He's mad that he doesn't have more wheels. Nope, that's not gonna do it. How about... No, I guess it's not about the number of wheels. It took a while, but Google actually gave a good suggestion. Immaturity is refusing to accept responsibility for one's own actions. And that's what people are doing more and more of these days, including me. I used to be more like this. I still kind of am, but it's less my fault because the world is weird. It's full of people like this. By the way, please notice that this guy is getting closer to the correct set of wheels, and it's working a little bit better for him. Remember that. So then maturity, according to my little diagram, would be when you grow up and you get your little briefcase and you go off to work and you contribute value, which is, I try to use the red arrow consistently. You contribute value, you get paid for it, and you use your own choices to determine what you're going to do with it, whether it's going to go to tattoos and vacations to Dubai, or whether you're going to reinvest it in yourself and those you love and build a family or whatever you want to do. It's your choices. But of course, you are always going to have to kick some to the government. That's just the way things are. The problem begins when people collectively began taking so much of our effort and giving it to things that we don't want. If we get to keep what we make, we get to decide what happens with it. We don't get to decide what happens with this, and we are getting a worse and worse deal, which I read recently that we spent $450 billion on illegal immigrants last year. That makes me want to stop contributing and lay around on welfare like everyone else, and then I would be very immature, and then I would have nothing to offer women except for this stuff, and I would just be trying to get in this box again. And that makes women feel like this. Listen to what she says.
You guys need to freaking get it together. I want a family. I want kids. And you guys suck! Do I have to marry someone twice my age because y'all little boys act like little children?
And that hurts because I am twice her age, which some people find creepy, and I am also a little boy in some ways. It becomes obvious when you get to know me. And some of that is my...
For those of my followers who are watching, this character here is Peter Pan. If you understand the Peter Pan story, I know that's more of a Western story, but Peter Pan was a fictional story where this young boy never grew up. And he lived in a place called Never Never Land. Okay? But the idea was this is a little boy that never grew old. Just so you understand why he's referring back to this little character dressed in green. Let's proceed.
And some of that is my own fault, but some of it isn't. And in my opinion, it mostly isn't. Let me explain using my favorite map. This is my version of the Aquil map. Credit to Ken Wilber, who created the system. I just made it more readable, and trust me, this is more readable. I'm going to focus on the quadrants right now. I'll make them bigger. There we go. This is not as complicated as it looks. It's basically just 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways of looking at things that you have to include in every answer, or you're doing it wrong. We all get in a lot of internet arguments, probably me more than you. Sometimes people will say things like skill issue, which means either you don't get how to do it or you're doing it wrong with your actions in the real world. Sometimes people will say things like that's a systemic problem, meaning that it is outside of the individual and it's more of a contextual problem that an individual cannot solve with their own mind or their own actions. Those answers that address only one of these boxes are almost always wrong because they don't include the other boxes. Maybe this will be more clear. This is your mind, and this is what you think and what you know and how you feel and how smart you are. And then this is all the minds around you, which you can't really directly change. God knows I've tried. And then this would be your behavior, the actual physical things you do in the world. And then this would be the behavior of everyone and everything around you, which again, you can't necessarily control. So this is what you have control over inside of your mind and outside in what you do. And then this would be how everyone thinks around you and the belief structures that you exist in. And this would be the physical system that you exist in, which you can't really control. My life is full of realizations. Like when I was 12, it hit me like a ton of bricks that grown-ups around me didn't actually know what was going on, and that bummed me out for a while. That would be an example of my culture telling me things that don't make sense and don't function in the world, and then me using my mind to learn how to interact with that. But my life is also full of things that completely destroyed my life that were absolutely no fault of my own. And when I tell people about that, which 100% belongs here, people will say, skill issue, bruh. So they're blaming me for things that happened to me, which in many cases is just another form of transferring energy from some people to other people where I wouldn't want to put it in the first place, rather than letting me have control of my own life, which again makes me want to check out and be a little boy.
I hope you guys understood that. I don't know if I can make it any simpler for you guys to understand. It took me, I had to watch it twice before I got it. I hope you guys understand it. You might have to rewatch that a second time.
Can tell that I have a problem with owning my situation, which is weird to say considering what it takes to do this in 1 year. And what she means is that my problem exists only here, in my mind, and that's never true. You have to acknowledge all 4 of these in every case. Sometimes problems originate in your culture or your society, and affect you in an inward way, and you have to use your mind and behavior to deal with them, and sometimes they're very hard to deal with. So ideas like this, that I have a problem with owning my situation, are something that men are very used to hearing. Any problem that you have that originates out here is your responsibility, and this is consistent with the ick indicator. If you can't do it, if you're not doing enough, then you're just icky. On the other hand, women are often encouraged to believe that they are systemically and structurally oppressed, which would mean that their problems all originate out here and never with themselves where they would have responsibility, and that comparing this to women saying mean things about men is stupid, which is a denial that men have any problems out here at all. This exposes a deep feature of human psychology, which is clearly exposed by these social experiments where when a man pretends to attack a woman, others rush in to help, but when the same woman pretends to attack a man, others walk by and do nothing, or even film it for fun. And this guy even joins in, meaning that humans tend to perceive a problem outside of a woman as a man's fault, and a problem outside of a man as a man's fault. As always, they say it themselves. Every single bad gendered thing men face is caused by misogyny and patriarchy. Men, misandry isn't real because there is no systemic system. This is Bugman word salad. This is what's in power right now. Here's his bio. Check this out. Victim mentality, pronouns, victim mentality, oppressed group, Superman movie. Those are all collective, needs-based, feminine orientations that put him in the group that benefits from equality, which is really just redistribution. In other words, everything bad is you and everything good is me, so gimme. And of course, it doesn't stop at men and women. Anyone who's seen as an oppressor has responsibility, and anyone who's seen as oppressed does not. And this does not stop in politics or the workplace, leading to an energy transfer in one direction. So as this transfer starts to happen, some people are seen as responsible for more and more, and others for less and less.
If you ask me out and you're a millionaire, I'll say yes.
If they're not a millionaire?
Then we can be friends. If he doesn't own a house that's over $7 million, I won't date him. I just have, goals and expectations and boundaries, and this is what I strive for.
What are the other criteria that you're looking for in a guy?
I want someone that's successful,
sure,
motivated, influential,
okay,
good values.
Minimum height?
Actually, I'm okay with the guy being short as long as he's rich.
This is him catching up.
Did you want Santa Claus to come down your chimney too?
Oh, guys, I'm going to stop it there because I want you guys to go over and watch the rest of it on his channel. But this guy's brilliant at breaking down complex information and just spreading it out nicely in these little diagrams. Bottom line is that women claim that they're the victims, and if you're a victim and you are in a oppressed group, Free Palestine, Africa, and all of these things like he pointed out, we have to throw money at them, send them money, send them help. Women are oppressed. Oh, we need help. We need money. We need money. You got to give us more. Oh, that means that the men got to work harder because we need the money to come from somewhere. These damn men are not working hard enough and not giving us enough. And the patriarchy, the bad guy, the big bad patriarchy, that's oppressing us. We need to kill that. And because of that, we should be given more.
When you give someone something for free the first time, it creates appreciation. When you give someone something for free the second time, it creates anticipation. When you give someone something for free the third time, it creates expectation. Fourth time, it creates entitlement. When you give someone something the fifth time, it creates dependency. And you don't give it to them by the sixth time, it creates hatred and resentment.
God, yes.
And internally, they feel depressed and have anxiety. So let me tell you, ladies, something. Guess where all women are? Because women get attention for free from men. So women are in the entitlement field.
Wow. And we're going to scream until we get more because we vote and we consume. So Big Daddy government, you better be on our side And hey, large corporations, if you don't do what we say, you don't put up those rainbow flags, if you don't do exactly what we want and cater to our needs, we're going to stop buying your products. And if you don't, we're going to cry and we're going to make a lot of noise. Sounds familiar? Yeah, that's where we are in our society. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this particular lesson today, my friends. Hey man, we are in a pretty dismal time in our lives, to be honest with you. We are in soft times, but these soft times are going to create hard times, and they're coming fast. The technology is changing because we want more and more and more. We're pushing the AI technology to make things so easy that it's going to take a hell of a lot of our job. Men, if you're not in a trade, if you're not in a hard freaking job right now where it's physically demanding, you're going to probably lose out on your job due to AI. That's a whole other story. But what I'm trying to tell you is that these soft times are going to create hard times. The robots are coming with the AI. So ladies, a lot of your jobs are going to be gone. And I can tell you, man, it's going to be hard. I'm starting to see women right now losing jobs and not being able to get rehired fast enough. When I say fast enough, most people are one paycheck away from losing their house, car, life insurance, and all the other perks that comes with having a job. You run that past 3 to 5 months and your emergency fund is dead and gone, you're in deep trouble after that. So we're going to start seeing a lot more of this, my friend. So, hey, guys, I'm going to shut it off there. Hey, please subscribe if you haven't already. Listen, man, about 65% of you are not subscribed to the channel who are watching me. Come on, guys. It takes nothing from you. Support the channel. Book a session. You won't regret it. And by all means, go over and join us on the membership system. I'll put the link, but you can also click on it in the description of this video. It's free. Just come on over. Have some in-depth chats with members on the site so that you guys can feel connected to a community of like-minded. All right. So until next time, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.